I am the emptiness of the heavens you do not want. I am the fullness of the clouds in colorful skies that brings you rain. I am the rainbow with the promise of a new beginning.
Pig was the one that struck me a lot because, in terms of the poetic voice, it's very different. It is the one that is the least formed at the point when he passed away. It's almost as if Mervin needed to go to Australia to find his poetic mission. Most of us, I think, in Singapore and elsewhere, when we deal with poetry, we deal with a moment. We put that moment, the experience or that feeling in poetry, and it ends there. Time to move on to another poem. But this isn't a one-moment poem. It is not a two-moment poem. It is a 10-year, almost at least, adventure.
Mirapuri has a kind of cynical disposition toward hyper-capitalism and globalization, so you see a lot of his critiques of contemporary consumerist behavior, capitalism as a system, or these promises of endless, boundless economic expansion and growth. So you see a lot of his cynicism toward the war and terrorism, the imperialist bent, maybe, of US foreign policy, unfortunately has a kind of pertinence with where we are today.
He has his unique prophetic voice that is reminding people to go back to their roots. It's so much reflective of modern Singapore life, how modern people are scarred and how that could be remedied with poetry. It's among swine that the prodigal son found hopelessness that led him back to his father.
He's dealing with trying to bring together all the things that matter to him in his life. Family, faith, settling in Australia, thinking about life in general. All this, I think, became very powerful. There is that whole expectation of moving to a different country, of immigrating.
He wrote Pig around 2000 to 2009, I think during that space of time. Sometimes it was happy circumstances, sometimes it was hard, sometimes it's work, sometimes it's family. This is what happens to all of us. We cannot say we are devoid or separate our lives from other things. We are all in it. And when he passed, we all looked at his poetry. As I told you, we found it near my bedside table, and we all decided that it was a good time to bring it out and show the world what type of person he was, warts and all.
Being in Jerusalem, seeing this injustice, just that whole juxtaposition of different parallel universes just clashing. There's different people living under different conditions, and all of those truths were all in that one place. So I thought nothing of it because that's par. Every few emails there'll be a poem in there, and then sometime later he talks about those words, now becoming Pig.
When we decided on Pig being the manuscript to work with, that is the issue of the drafts, the different drafts, and how much I can gather from the family about which came first, about what certain words meant.
We had a lot of laughs, we had a lot of tears. We read through it, sometimes I would complain, why you read so slowly? But we worked on it together, and that's an experience that we've never had. So everyone was part of this journey, all in as a family, and that was another gift from Pa to us.
Has the star anywhere to go? It does not need to. It shows me where to go. It is where it is. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Our team was very privileged to be able to do this book.
I really enjoy going on this walk, and I found myself wanting to know more about his life as well.
I was reaching out to you because I know you like to do crazy things. And this book can go crazy.
The more I read, the deeper the rabbit hole I fell, and then so I started doing a lot of notations about the visual stuff that I was seeing in my head while I was reading this. And I was originally only asked to do the cover. Then I begged Kage, I was like, Kage, I really want to do interior illustrations for this as well.
I wanted to reflect that fragmentation within the psyche of your identity as an immigrant, versus, when you're a natural citizen. That sort of reflection actually came to me because I was passing by a butcher's shop, and on the window they had like the parts of the pig. Like the idea of consumption is also very deep within the sort of symbology of the pig. So I wanted to have both of that, plus the idea of identity and moving to a strange land, all combined together, I guess. He's seen a lot, and maybe he's a little bit jaded, but he still feels like, you guys can do better, come on.
At the core of Pig is about, I guess, holding on to your hope that there is a better place to be. Not just a geographical place, but also an existential place, being faced with disappointments, and yet nonetheless continuing to believe in a better day. A walk with my pig is hugely memorable as a project for me. There is also that life lesson that I took away from reading this poetry. It raised a lot of very fundamental questions about living in a modern world and the things that we ought to hold on to as essential, and then to keep hoping and to have faith in what matters in life.
Mervin is immortal in this book. There will be generation of Singaporeans and people all over the world who will pick up something from it. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of you who are involved, from the family, from the team that put it together, and the people who have come to the book launch. He is really one of our jewel of Singapore. That's all I can express to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Don't worry,
all our jobs are done. We just have to let pig fly.
Coming back here makes me miss some of the things that we used to do, some of the things that we used to do together as a family, eating together, talking together, going to the beach together. So I think it's quite reminiscing coming back. And I think these memories help to put things more at rest and in peace. Like, so, when my father died, it was during COVID, and we were able to remember him at a small funeral that was streamed online. And I think this is an extension of in memoriam to him and to honour him. So this, to me, puts everything in peace, because everything is where it should be.
He's not forgotten. He's a Singapore poet, and he's now on the bookshelf. And that was a really important part of this whole journey, that he's not a forgotten poet in Singapore. And we knew his words, how beautiful they were, and now everyone else gets to share it too.
Love conquers all, the de-feathered eagle says. He still lives. They that wait upon the Lord will soar like an eagle, he thought. But what that has to do with the price of fish? Wow. I might get my feathers back again. One day again I shall fly. For now, I will quietly watch dead pigs and scavenge the dead rat before the living rat scavenge me. Then he remembered hearing the old promise that every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places made plain. And hey, all that was free. All he needed was to love in faith and listen to the sound of silence. Be still and know that I am.